Let's get more now on the situation. This Ryanair plane that was flying from Athens to Lithuania, it was diverted to Minsk. Let's speak to our Moscow correspondent, Diana Magne, who's on the phone now. Diana, what do we know about why this plane was diverted?
Well, because it was carrying a prominent opposition blogger, activist, who for a long time now has been based in Vilnius, Lithuania, because it's dangerous for him to be in Minsk or in Belarus. And obviously, the president himself, Alexander Lukashenko, found out that he was on board this plane from Athens to Vilnius and ordered his KGB, his security services, to have that plane stopped. So we know that a MiG fighter jet accompanied this Ryanair plane when it passed into Belarus airspace. And the KGB agents who were clearly on board must have told the Ryanair pilot that there were explosives on board and got him to land, whereupon this blogger was arrested. So it's pretty amazing, that Lukashenko has managed to stop a plane essentially in midair and make it land in Belarus.
Reuters are reporting that the Belarus news agency, state news agency, are saying that Lukashenko himself personally ordered the warplane to escort that Ryanair Boeing to Minsk. Just tell us a bit more about who this man is, Roman Protasevich, and why would Lukashenko want to detain him so badly?
So he is the co-founder of Nexta, which is a opposition channel. It has released since last August, all the videos that show the opposition, which is the majority of the country, out on the street. And it has basically been a very prominent voice showing what Alexander Lukashenko does in his country, which is why and how he's been trying to suppress the opposition, or essentially the entire Belarusian nation into submission after rigged elections last year. And he has been coming after journalists one after the other and has labelled Nexta an extremist organisation and is trying to scare anyone in Belarus who is acting, in a journalistic capacity, and clearly try and scare anyone outside of Belarus too. And it's an extraordinary thing to have done, and I wonder how the international community can react, seeing as really Alexander Lukashenko has no authority over the likes of Ryanair, clearly threatened the Ryanair pilots, clearly managed to get his own security agents on board, and had this plane diverted and landed at Minsk. We have about, 25 Belarusian journalists who are currently in jail on a selection of spurious charges. We have the likes of Nexta labelled extremist. This man, Roman Protasevich, who is the co-founder, would face up to 15 years in jail if there is no way of getting him out. And at the moment, it looks very unlikely, given how little external influence anybody has on what happens in Belarus and in Belarusian jails. But it is extraordinary that President Lukashenko can have done what he clearly has just done, intervened on an international flight, a Ryanair flight that has nothing to do with Belarus, to detain a blogger who he is clearly scared of. It just goes to show the lengths to which Alexander Lukashenko will go to try and suppress the Belarusian opposition.
It's interesting because, talking of the opposition, the Belarus opposition leader Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, she's called for an IATA investigation into this diverted flight. And she's also called for sanctions up to removal from the International Civil Aviation Organization, that's the UN aviation body ICAO. The Lithuanian president has also demanded, obviously, the release, but he's also called on NATO and EU allies to immediately react to quote, the threat posed to international civil aviation by the Belarus regime. The international community must take immediate steps that this does not repeat. This is Reuters reporting. The Lithuanian president sent this out in an email statement. He also said that he promised to discuss this on Monday, tomorrow, at an EU summit. And one wonders how much leverage does the international community have over Lukashenko, Diana?
Well, that is the question. I mean, to date, the rigged elections, and they were rigged, that saw him re-elected as president last August, and his very violent repression of all the subsequent protest, sanctions have been levied on his staff. They have been levied on his police force. They have been levied on individuals within his security apparatus. I think I'm right in saying that they haven't been levied against him personally, although I'm not sure that that would really make much difference to the situation. But none of those sanctions to date have made any difference whatsoever in changing his behavior. Now, I wonder if this means perhaps that Belavia, the Belarusian airliner, will face repercussions if, Belarus's activities on an international level may see some kind of curtailment. But I mean, the international community till now, through sanctions, has really not managed to make very much difference to what Belarus does within Belarus. It's not called Europe's last dictatorship, for no reason. So I think that Western heads will have to think very long and hard about what they can do in this situation to make a difference. And I do wonder what difference that can make to the fate of Roman Protasevich, who has, for his own safety, lived outside of Belarus.
Oh, I think we've lost Diana, but as Diana was saying there, the latest is that Ryanair plane was flying from Athens to Lithuania. It's still in Minsk, and Roman Protasevich has been detained and remains so.